I'm Rick Cole with our producer Nick Kedzik here at the GLVC Kickoff. Our live press conference now features our third school of the day, Jewell College, one of three teams this season to feature a new head coach, although Sean Weigel has been on the staff at Jewell for the past decade. Today, Coach Weigel is joined by first-team All-GLVC selection, senior offensive lineman Brandon Kluwer, and junior defensive lineman Aaron Nyer. Guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us today for our press conference, and welcome to the GLVC Kickoff. Coach Weigel, give us a few opening comments, if you would, about taking over the reins of the Jewell program and your expectations of the season ahead.
Thank you, Rick, for the welcome. It's been a whirlwind in a very, very good way. It's a situation that I've put my time in and been looking forward to, and I'm just thankful that it happened at Jewell, because if it wasn't going to happen there, it was going to happen somewhere else, and couldn't ask for a better group of people to work with. We didn't miss a beat when the change took place, and that's a tribute to every one of my staff, our players that helped through the recruiting process, and it's been great.
What's the biggest change from being a head coach, from being a coordinator to a head coach?
Everything. Everything's different. Yes.
Give me one example.
Everything.
Okay.
Everything is different.
And now moving on.
Yeah. Because now it becomes, from a head coach standpoint, it's my stamp. And it's my record. It's my wins and losses. So I'll shoulder the brunt of that and gladly do it. But it's also something where, we get to do things differently. And you have a vision, and now it's become a reality.
Last year, the Cardinals' passing unit ranked third in the league last year in passing offense with 245.9 yards per game. A standout wide receiver, Anthony Mullins, returns, a second-round All-GLVC pick. He'll be a junior. Talk a little bit about the offense in general, if you would, please.
It's one thing we get to do. We get to be very creative with some of the unique opportunities we have there. I don't call them challenges, don't refer to them that, but some of these unique opportunities. So we really stay on the cutting edge of things offensively, and we're always looking for something, the next best thing, right. And have some great connections with some people at the next level that have been at higher academic institutions that have been very successful. So there's a lot of influence from that way too. But we're going to do whatever we need to do. Whatever they're going to give us, we're going to take. If that means we have to throw the ball to set up the run, we'll do that.
Brandon, as part of the offensive unit, let's talk to you about the end of the 2014 campaign. It ended on a high note when the Cardinals upset nationally ranked Indianapolis. They had previously been unbeaten in conference play going back to 2012. A milestone win there for sure, but how has that momentum carried through to the offseason and now as you get ready to open summer camp?
It's just carried through in full force. I know that's definitely on our mind. I mean, it's in the past, but we definitely are moving forward with that on our mind. We can beat anybody in the conference. We beat the number one guy. So, I mean, anybody who's out there is open. We got a mindset that we're here, we're ready, we're focused. That win is just propelling us to the next level, so that's what we're here to do. Coach,
let's turn to defense a little bit. 7 starters returning to the defensive unit. What are your thoughts about the unit, and who do you think might step up a little bit this year for the Cardinals?
Great question, and you mentioned starters, and I think one thing we've established and our kids know is that you earn your chicken fry or your spot on the bus every year. It doesn't matter what you did the year prior, but we certainly expect Aaron to help us there. Marcus Moye, some transfer kids in Zach Haynes and Colby Finnewald coming back. Nick Messer will be back for us. Along the defensive line, the two Dosses, Dylan and Austin. It's really going to be by committee. We're going to play whoever's ready to play, and be in a scheme that's a little bit different than we've been in the past, so that we have a clear mind. We take the field and we just go play really fast.
Aaron, Coach mentioned you a moment ago, and of course, Coach Weigel does have a defensive background in his past coaching stints. Would you please talk about the transition between him being a head coach from an assistant coach to a head coach? Talk about that transition to keep the program moving forward with a familiar face now as a head coach.
Absolutely, yeah, and he's not the only one. Now we have our new defensive coordinator, Trent Figg, who I was lucky enough to have as an assistant when I was a freshman here at Jewell. And so he's our new defensive coordinator, and with Coach kind of taking the helm and helping him along too, it's been a really great transition. I'm very excited for it. excited for it. One of our mottos on defense is move fast, strike fast, get in front of the offense, and take the ball away. And that's what we're excited to do moving forward. And I'm very excited because 7 starters are turning. And a lot of those guys are people within my class, as well as younger and transitioning folks and transfers. But we've created a really good community on defense, and I think we're really ready to move forward and enable that a little further.
A lot of talk in transition centers on offenses and the terminology and all that. Defensive terminology, is there a lot of terminology that has stayed the same for you guys defensively?
Yeah, with a couple changes here and there, but our communication's really good on the field. We take a lot of pride in it. And Nick Messer hopefully will be back there calling it, being the quarterback of our defense. He does a really great job of getting our calls in on time in a good manner. And between the defensive line, the linebacker core, and the secondary, we all know what's going on, and we all, I think, are going to have our heads wrapped around the offense hopefully before they even snap the ball.
Okay, Aaron, thank you. Coach Weigel, how about the special teams looks this year? We know Thomas Cook Jr. and Anthony Mullins can really be exciting in the return game. Zane Kitchell is back at punter following an honorable mention all-conference season last year. What are the other parts of the special teams that you're looking at?
All of them. They're extremely important. It's something we put an emphasis on. And Coach Matt Trowbridge, he's our special teams coordinator, along with working with our defensive secondary. He has access to everyone, and whatever we need to do in that phase of the game to one up the opponent on that Saturday, we'll do. And that's something that we'll put the time into that. I think it's about 20% of the game. It's not the third like most people claim, but about 20% of it that can be really, really significant to the outcome of it. So it'll be an awful lot of emphasis put on it.
Let's talk about the schedule a little bit. The Cardinals open up at Drake in their first game of the year, then return to Liberty to face powerful Colorado School of Mines, and that's before we get into conference play. How's that schedule look to you?
Well, they're good. I mean, we are loaded throughout the conference. I mean, throughout the schedule. There's no week that's any different than any other. You prepare the same way, whether you're playing a top 25 team in Colorado Mines or anyone from our conference or Drake or the preparation doesn't change. And that's something that's constant week in and week out. But we play. Our first 3 ball games are against some very strong teams. Then we go to St. Joseph week 3 to open conference play. So it's we're going to find out where we are and how good we are right off the bat.
Coach Weigel, thank you. Brandon and Aaron, thank you as well for being here today. And best of luck, of course, this season. For you watching, please stay tuned for more GLVC Football Kickoff action. We'll take a break and then be back with the Miners of Missouri Science and Technology. You're watching the GLVC Sports Network, where champions are crowned.